or even beyond that. We saw a drop in the price of petrol from 1312 to 1,100 to 1,050 naira now, 1,045 naira. In some places, even up to 900 and something naira. But guess what? You still haven't seen any tangible change in the cost of transportation, intra-state transportation. So the amount of money you were paying from let's use the office example, or from Obirikwere to Rumokoro, or from Obirikwere to Eliozu when fuel price was 1,300, is the same price you are paying now from Obirikwere to Eliozu, now that the price of petrol is about 900 or 1,050 naira or 1,045 naira. So what is the yardstick to measure the fluctuation in the price of transportation in the state? Are there other things beyond fuel that drivers will say is the reason why price of transport doesn't come down when the price of petrol drops? And if there are other things, how come when the price went up, it wasn't about petrol? You did not. I was discussing with, I wouldn't say arguing, discussing with the keke guy. So normally if you are at Jovit Junction and you want to take a drop from Jovit Junction to let's say Mercyland, right? It used to be 500 naira. And then petrol went up a bit. Petrol went up and then they moved it to 700 naira. At this time when it was 700, petrol was now being sold for about petrol is now being sold for like about, say, up to about 1,000. Yes, 1,000, 1,100, 700 naira. And then petrol went up to about 1,002, 1,003, and then it improved to 1,000 naira. If you're taking a drop from Jovi Junction to Mercyland, it became 1,000 naira. Now petrol is now being sold for 1,045 naira or 900 and some fraction in some places. Guess what? They are still charging 1,000 naira. So I asked the guy, why don't you reduce it back to 700? I'm not saying 500 because we're still far off the benchmark, but you could have taken 700 like you used to. And he was laughing, hey, or guy. And I said, you guys said it was petrol that made you raise it to 500. But now the price of petrol has come down a bit. So why is it still 1,000? Why doesn't it go back to 700 at least? I'm not saying 500. And there wasn't really any good explanation that he was given to make me understand why. Because I wanted to know perhaps there were other things that drivers experience that make them say this is why the price would not come down even after it went up because of petrol. Now that petrol is down, the price will still remain like this. So hopefully we find out in our conversation today on the show. In the meantime, I would need you to also call us and let me know whether you've experienced any changes so far with the cost of transportation, even as we've seen a drop in the price of petrol. Has there been changes? Have there been any changes that you've observed in the cost of transport? Share that with us. I'm talking intra-state. When we go interstate, it's a different conversation altogether. Hopefully, after the commercial, we'll be speaking with Amadi Anselm. Amadi Anselm is the state coordinator of the NURTW Drivers Welfare Rivers State Council. Perhaps he would give us insight into maybe there are other things that are also responsible for why the cost of transport is what it is, regardless of fluctuations in the price of petrol. In the meantime, 0817 923 0007, 0817 923 0007. You can also call 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0002. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Remember to also use the WhatsApp number 0809 030 6416. Have there been any changes in the cost of transportation, looking at the drop in the price of petrol in the past couple of weeks? Nigeria Info, good morning.
Yeah, very good morning. Happiest month.
I wish you the same, my friend. Go on.
Yeah. I'm busy. See, there is problem in this country. People are suffering. Go now and check motor parts. Common engine oil now, some of engine oil is now roughly 20,000. Tire is getting to roughly 30,000. Tire. So check all these things. People are suffering. It's not only petrol. So if they can be able to bring all this, go and drive battery, it's now roughly 100,000. So that, let them bring things down, so that let everything calm down. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I understand that, but I think one thing I would say, if I look at what you're saying, as much as yes, you're correct, but you don't buy engine oil every day. I think the reason why drivers usually would first say petrol, the price of petrol went up. That's why cost of transportation went up. Would largely be because they use petrol every day. You buy petrol. In fact, in a day, a driver could buy petrol 3-4 times, depending on the distance and how many trips he's going on. About 3-4 times he would buy petrol. So it's understandable. You don't buy engine oil every day. You don't buy tires every day, do you? No, you don't. So those are one-off. You buy a tire, use it for a while before you buy another one. So to now hinge the increase in the price on the fact that the cost of tire is still up or the cost of engine oil is still up, shouldn't we look at that? Nigerian, for good morning.
Yeah, Andrew.
Yes.
Good morning. This is Isaiah.
Isaiah George, you'd have to come back, please. There's a beep in the background, so I had to move on to another caller. Nigeria Info, good morning.
Hello, good morning. I'm going for this.
All right.
Calling from Uzowa.
Go on.
Okay. It's unfortunate that when things comes up in this country and government try to sweep in to reduce the pressure, but we are supposed to reduce the pressure, the cost of things. We don't do that. So I don't really blame them, because we have to look at cost of feeding as well, cost of accommodation. So all these things, it's not about them running on the road with a low source of income, and yet at the end of the day, they won't be able to also meet their daily needs in terms of providing accommodation for themselves. You know how accommodation now has increased. So it's something that the government has to look holistically, not just in the aspect of the fuel. Reducing the fuel, what happens to the landlord who unreasonably increase their rent?
All right, thank you very much. We'll talk more about this after this short commercial. Hopefully my guest will be on with us at that time.
Beat that. The biggest fish you don't show.
Good morning. Time's already fast spent because we had to take that long commercial. I'm supposed to also get in touch with my guest. We're having some issues with the service providers. It's quite difficult to get through to him now. I told you that I'll be speaking with the River State Council chairman of the Drivers Welfare from the NURTW. On some of the questions that were raised in the first half of the show. But let's quickly go back to the phone lines because some of us have called in and given other reasons why we think that the cost of transportation is still where it is, regardless of the price of petrol coming down. And now, in response to that would be, before the price of petrol went up, the cost of those things, that rent had been up and other things had been going up, and we were still, transportation was still at the same price. In fact, some of the landlords, now that you've raised it, some of the landlords that raised their rent was because of the price of petrol that went up. People in the market that increased the price of their food stuff and all the other things was all what was said was because of the price of petrol. But now that we're seeing a decline in the price of petrol, are we seeing a corresponding decline in the price of rent and in the price of foodstuff in the market? If not, then why? Or what are there other reasons that are responsible for why these other areas are not experiencing a drop in price, even though we have a drop in the price of petrol? 0817 923 0007 0817 923 0007. Good morning. My name is Ifemi Andrew. I lost the call. 0817 923 0007 0817 923 0003. So you can call on any of these numbers. WhatsApp is 0809030616. Thank God Ability says, top of the morning, how much the drop in the price of fuel that transport will reduce their price? How much was the increase in the price of fuel that transport has increased their price times 200%? I think it's back and forth. All right, now you buy petrol for it was 1,200, 300. Now you're buying for 1,045, 1,050. In some places, 900 and 990 naira. So if that's the case, I think it's reasonable to say that the drop that you were taking from my office here to Obirikwere, that you would take 150. It would make sense if you decide to take 100 naira now. Or the drop you would take from Jovi Junction to Mercyland, that you take 1,000. It would make sense if you were taking 700 or 800 now, wouldn't it? Just saying. So, except there are other reasons why the price is still up, and those are the reasons we would like to know, perhaps, from drivers. Nigerian, for good morning.
Good morning.
Okonkwo, you're welcome.
Thank you. Drivers, bus drivers and taxi drivers have not been able to bring down their transport fees. I am in support of them because the fuel is still high. If you watch, you see, if you go to Ikoku, how much are plugs? How much is engine oil? How much is engine coolant? How much is wheel drum? How much is brake pads? How much is canister? And many other things. Taxi drivers and bus drivers, they have wives and children that they take care of. They have children that they send to school. How do they get the money? What we should do is to talk to government to bring fuel up to 200 naira. But coming to the bus drivers and taxi drivers, they are suffering. So we should not bring any charge or blame them for the cost of transportation. Thank you.
All right, JJ from Rumigbo, good morning.
Andrew, good morning.
Good morning.
When fuel was selling for 200 naira, how much was this transport you're talking about? From 200, it rose to 590. to 1,000 something, and you think you will just get drastic change. Andrew, personally, I don't believe this price regime right now. I believe that after now, it may go up again. Andrew, have you seen where a taxi driver and a passenger are fighting over 50 or 100 naira? Have you seen it before? So you will know what they are trying to prevent in the new year. So by the time they go down, because 20 naira don't come off for fuel, and by tomorrow, 100 naira add. Don't forget, if they add, they may not change this price though. Now, small thing will come out, you want them to change, and if it add again, it becomes a trouble, they give back each other shit. It's not fair to them now. Things are not even going down. So buy 4 shock right now, if you want to buy original shock, it's over 400,000 naira. And all those things put together, these are some of the things. You have to save money when this car that is giving you money, just like when you are eating, to be healthy, you have to still save money to continue eating. So it's not easy on them. I'm not a taxi driver. But since you cannot get their own person that will speak for them, let me also act as an advocate to them. It's not easy at all. They need to bring the fuel down. When they said they removed subsidy, it was 590. They said they are not paying any further money. How did we rise to 1,300? And I begin to withdraw small. When they climbed with 400, 500. Now it's going down with 10 kobo. Who does that now?
All right. Ken from Ubimini, good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. Compliment of the season.
I wish you the same.
Andrew, from Ubimini to Elele was 1,200. Now the season is here. The transportation is 1,500. Andrew, but if you ask me, I would say that it is a Nigerian thing. Even when fuel was 65 naira, immediately it was, or it is, this particular time we are now, this Christmas period, everybody is celebrating. Everything will go high. So I really don't understand the mentality we are having whenever we have something of this nature in celebration. The transportation will be more higher than whatever commodity in the city or in the country. I begin to wonder, what is the problem behind this whole thing? We are blaming the fuel not being available. Even if it comes to the minimum price that we needed or we are expecting, 2031, 3031, 2027 or 2028, when we celebrate Christmas, this thing will still occur. That is my question.
All right.
Thank you very much. Ezekiel, calling from Ubu.
Shima and Rumokuta, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Andrew. Yeah, compliment of the season.
Same to you.
Then I want to go a little bit historical. You remember when Indomie inflated their price to one thing I cannot understand, and Nigerians just keep not to buy Indomie again. You can remember. Indomie automatically brought down their price. And I asked that what has changed? Why did they bring their price suddenly down? To make you understand that Nigerians, the commoners, we are so wicked to ourselves. We take every little advantage to wicked each other. You understand? To extort us. Now the issue is that I keep on telling people that the major reason why we are having all these difficulties in agriculture, whatever, that is not even because of fuel. But people are just attributing it like that. It is because I believe it is insurgency that people are the farmers there. Because I believe they go to farm and produce things that they couldn't sell it because of the high price, that those things will rotting. Now ask me what is the problem, why the taxi drivers have not reduced their transport, even if it is by 10% or 30% reduction, just to show an appreciation of what is happening in the country. Ask me why. And let me tell you something, even if they reduce this price to 200 naira, it will take time. We will have to fight them again before they will have to reduce it. These people are just wicked. We are just wicked. I want to include myself. We are just wicked among ourselves. You understand? This thing, I don't know how I'm going to say it, but thank God you are saying it and you ask this question. It's a very good one. Thank you. I'm
Magnus from Mount 3. Good morning.
Good morning, Ifeanyi, and compliment of the
I wish you the same, Magnus. Go ahead.
People. Andrew, the issue we are discussing this morning is a very important issue that I think calls for urgent attention. The high rate of transportation on the road is much. And I begin to imagine what could be the cause or what is the problem. Just from Ajib Junction to Waterlines is 300 naira. And I was asking the driver, why is it that from Ajib Junction to Waterlines is 300 naira? If you're boarding a taxi or a bus from Ajib Junction to Rumokoro, you will spend like 400 naira. So I don't know if it's the fuel problem or what is the attitude of the people. We need to change our attitude towards it. It's not everything that we begin to cash out or begin to exploit the citizen. We see fuel is high. Fuel came down and nothing, the transportation did not come down. So anything that goes up in this country doesn't seem to be coming down again. It hangs like that. So I think something needs to be done about it, and it will start from us. We, the people. It's every time we want to exploit people. It is not done that way. We cannot progress as a people like that. So let us talk to ourselves as we move into 2025. We should change our attitudes as a people towards each other. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Victor in Mount 3, I think that will be the last call we'll take.
Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Victor.
Thank you so much. I get pissed off whenever I hear people try to make the victim the blame, try to blame the victim. Nigerians are the victim here. Let me just give you a small analysis. The last time we actually bought petrol before the current president came in, some of us bought at 195. And let me give you a direct example of what I want to say. From my three at that time to Rumokoro, they were collecting 200 naira. So if we are to say, according to the increase, when the thing moves to 400 and something, that means ordinarily they should collect 400 naira. When it moves to 1,300 or 1,200, they should collect 1,200 for that same distance. But I can tell you today, they are collecting 500 naira. And all of a sudden, somebody just wake up from sleep and remove 20 naira. And today, even that 100, even that 800.
Victor,
naira,
you know the issue. Victor, there's only one issue with that calculation. There's only one issue with that calculation. Now, the reason why even the drivers know that they can't add like that is because they do not carry only one passenger at a time. It's not like they carry only drop. If you want to charge drop, that's the price you definitely would pay if they are taking just you. So what they are looking at is a summation of all the passengers that they carry should amount to what you just said. That's the calculation.
That was what they are collecting after the same amount when petrol was selling for.
That's what I'm trying to make you understand, Victor. Like, we understand that, but you can't say that they would then have to charge one passenger 1,000 something because they are carrying 5 passengers.
A clear example of the price per what we are collecting. So if today they are selling, according to them, 1,040 something naira. Or now they are claiming it's 800 or something naira, and people are collecting 500 naira, and you expect them to go below that again? That is wickedness now. These drivers themselves are finding it difficult to even maintain and give account of some of the cars they actually purchase. Let us not shift the blame from where we are supposed to focus it and put it on people who are struggling to survive. If you know you cannot pay it and you think that is wickedness, my dear, there's an option, trek. All
right. Thank you, Victor. We wrap it up here.
In the kitchen game, there are players and then Agba ballers, MVP, player